I spent my whole life searching for a shelter for my soul, an understanding of the greater plan. In these walls I've seen the light of love pure and divine, helps me remember who I really am. In every face it's clear, we're all God's children here, and it feels like home, it feels like home. I finally found a place where I belong. It feels like home, it feels like home, a family that I can call my own. It feels like home. It's a place to share your burden. It's safe to shed a tear, say a prayer and raise your voice in song, where every heart is honored and every path is too. No one's here to judge you right or wrong, and there's no shame, no sin in this place where love begins. And it feels like home, it feels like home. I finally found a place where I belong. It feels like home, it feels like home, a family that I can call my own. It feels like home.
Let's take a moment. Take a deep breath. Be comfortable in your chairs. Maybe allow my words to speak through you and relax and breathe. Today is a new day, a new beginning, an awakening. Last week we let go and surrendered those things that we were clinging to that no longer served our highest good. Things within us that may have been rooted in fear or in confusion maybe, or in lack. And we learned that we can't hold on tightly to things while at the same time trying to receive new insights that stretch us and help us grow. So we learned to let go. And once we do, and the past is released, we create open spaces that are primed to be filled with light and love. Today we allow ourselves to accept the new, the pure, the fresh. We allow ourselves to be receptacles for God's love, divine goodness, and new insights. And so it is.
Feels like home. It feels like home. I finally found a place where I belong. It feels like home. It feels like home. A family that I can call my own. It feels like home. It feels like home. I finally found a place where I belong. It feels like home. It feels like home. A family that I can call my own. It feels like home.
It doesn't interest me what you do for a living. I want to know what you ache for, and if you dare to dream of meeting your heart's longing. Doesn't interest me how old you are. I want to know if you will risk looking like a fool for love, for your dream, for the adventure of being alive. Doesn't interest me what planets are squaring your moon. I want to know if you have touched the center of your own sorrow, if you have been opened by life's betrayals or have become shriveled and closed from fear of future pain. I want to know if you can sit with pain, mine or your own, without moving to hide it or fade it or fix it. I want to know if you can be with your joy, mine or your own, if you can dance with wildness and let ecstasy fill you to the tips of your fingers and your toes, without cautioning us to be careful, be realistic. Remember the limitations of being human. I want to know if you can see beauty, even when it's not pretty every day. And if you can source your own life from its presence. I want to know if you can live with failure, yours, mine, and still stand at the edge of the lake and shout to the silver of the moon, yes. It doesn't interest me to know where you live or how much money you have. I want to know if you can get up after the night of grief and despair, weary and bruised to the bone, and do what needs to be done to feed the children. It doesn't interest me who you know or how you came to be there. I want to know if you will stand in the center of the fire with me and not shrink back. It doesn't interest me where or what or with whom you have studied. I want to know what sustains you from the inside when all else falls away. I want to know if you can be alone with yourself and if you truly like the company you keep from those empty moments.
I am a child of the living God, made in the image of perfect love. All that I am, all I've been given, to you, my God, I surrender. I surrender. I am a child of the living God, made in the image of perfect love. All that I am, all I've been given, to you, my God, I surrender. I surrender.
Good morning and Happy New Year. And we are excited about 2019 in Youth and Family Ministries. We have so many fun things coming up. We actually have 4 little ones downstairs right now, so I'm super excited about that. Yeah, so our Unitots class is growing, and I'm really excited. While you guys are doing your White Stone ceremony up here, we will be doing the same thing and writing our future selves letters, and so we're excited about this morning. Please help us with our blessing.
Thank you for being our family. Thank you for being our friend. Thank you for blessing and teaching us. God bless you. Amen. All that I am, all I've been given, to you, my God, I surrender.
Good morning. Happy New Year and welcome to Unity in Lynnwood. And the sun is shining. And you got sunglasses over here and closed eyes. Don't worry, we won't think you're sleeping. It's a beautiful thing. And I'll tell you, after last night, it was crazy. I don't know that you all down here got the power of the storm. I live up in Arlington, and it started with the crazy wind and the pouring rain, and then we had huge flashes of lightning with cracks of thunder right after, and then it started to hail like crazy. I thought the roof of our house was coming in. So needless to say, see, I'm already. If I stutter over my words, it's because I didn't get a lot of sleep, but it was beautiful. And I'm glad to see the sun on your faces. We're happy to have you here, and we appreciate you all being here with us today. We honor the choice that you made to get up and come in, and we thank you for the opportunity to share our love and fellowship with you. It's a good day. Today is the first Sunday of the month of the year. Isn't that amazing? 2019. And the first Sunday of the month here at Unity in Lynnwood is Sacred Service Sunday. So we are lucky, privileged, and honored to have our wonderful Reverend Nina Clark come up and talk about sacred service.
Wow, there's a lot of you here today. That's awesome. Happy New Year, everyone. Happy New Year. So I've been speaking to you about service for, I think, about 3 years now. And I've talked to you about the health benefits of service and about service in community and how service can reveal our gifts, how service can be fun and support our spiritual growth. But I realized the other day that I've actually never explained what I do, what my role is. And so I'd like to do that from the platform this morning because, well, all y'all are here. So, what the heck do I do as Sacred Service Coordinator at Unity in Lynnwood? I think it's important because sometimes after I speak, I'll get asked, why didn't you say X? Or why didn't you introduce me? And the answer is most often that while there are lots of people in service here in a wide variety of ways, I don't oversee everyone who's in service. Surprise! For example, we have an amazing prayer ministry, a marvelous local humanitarian ministry. We have health and wellness group and small groups. And while all of those are in service in a most sacred and beautiful and profound way, they don't fall under my purview as Sacred Service Coordinator. I think the best way to explain what does fall under my purview is to think of that as the face of UIL on Sunday mornings, keeping the church building and grounds clean, and offertory management. On Sundays, this means that from the shuttle bringing you down from Fred Meyer to the welcome ministry arriving early to ready the sanctuary and greet you at the door and seeing to your every need, to the gift shop ministry keeping you supplied with spiritual books and inspiration, to hospitality providing the noshes to support connection, to angels taking care of our guests and having the garbage and recycling emptied, this falls under my purview. And during the rest of this week, this means that I oversee a deposit team that takes the utmost care in making sure that your love offerings get to our bank account, and various individuals who clean the inside of our building and keep the grounds maintained and clean. And to make all that work, I support and am supported by a talented and dedicated group of ministry leaders who in turn keep their amazing and committed team members scheduled and trained and happy. And so when I do acknowledge both the seen and the unseen work that they do, it's not to diminish any other service work done by any other groups at UIL. I am acknowledging those who either directly or indirectly report to me. And with that in mind, I would like to acknowledge some people today who do some pretty unsung work. I'll be honest in saying that I do not have a line of people begging me to clean toilets, mop floors, or empty garbage. That kind of work is typically not someone's passion. Those who do this work are serving our church community's need. And today I want to give several of them some public love. So if you are here, please stand so that we can give you some love and gratitude. Rosalie Bennett, are you in the room? She's what? She's in the shuttle. Okay. So when you see her, please give her, in addition to doing the shuttle and the flowers, Rosalie has been cleaning the We Care bathrooms downstairs for a little over a year. Gloria Polium, are you here? Gloria cleans the upstairs bathroom so that when you go in on a Sunday morning, or if you happen to visit us midweek, they're beautiful because of her. Okay? Fran Curley, she stocks both the upstairs and downstairs bathrooms midweek, in addition to many other things around here. Kelly Mitchell, I think she's in the kitchen. She empties our garbage and recyclables on Sundays and would really love someone to help her lift up the new heavy lid. So Jane Nepper, are you in? She was here first service. She picks up garbage in our parking lot on Saturdays. Erlene Bowen and Miriam Williams, who were here first service, they dust the sanctuary and offices and clean interior windows during the week. And Janet Leister, are you here? There she is. Janet launders our tablecloths for hospitality every week. So that when you come in to enjoy your noshes, you're sitting at clean tables. So, and a lot of these people do more than just that, but I kind of wanted to acknowledge the unseen, unsung work. Rosalie just came in. So Rosalie, would you stand? Yay. Thank you. It takes a village. You snuck in on me. So, and finally, although I am not fond of asking from the platform, but since I do have you all here today, I would like to let you know that all of our teams are in need of your support. We've had several people step down for a variety of reasons, and thus we have fewer people filling more time slots. If you would prayerfully consider stepping into service to this vibrant and growing community, know that you would be welcomed with open arms. Thank you and blessings.
Thank you so much, Reverend Nina. And yeah, I didn't know what was all under, so I really appreciated that little lesson. It was great. So as far as, one of the big services we provide is prayer support. And because prayer is so important to us, we like to talk about it a little bit each Sunday to let you know kind of where we come from and what's available to you. So at Unity, we choose to focus on a style of prayer called affirmative prayer. When we pray, it's not necessarily to a distant God, but to an innate spiritual oneness that connects us to all living things. Prayer is not begging or beseeching or pleading or asking for something. Instead, affirmative prayer is a spiritual practice where the participant, you or me, aligns themselves with the understanding that they are one with Spirit and affirm the truth about who they are and the conditions of their life. So at Unity in Lynnwood, we offer many ways to support you in your prayer life. We have a confidential prayer line. There's a phone number on the calendar, on our website, or you can take advantage of one-on-one prayer with our chaplains if you come to the sides of the sanctuary after service. In addition, our prayer chaplains pray over your prayer requests during the week. And another way you can do it is there's a prayer slip in the seat in front of you can fill out and drop in the offering basket. So your prayers get lots of attention. If you have something during service that you think of that you really want to have prayer for afterwards, or if it's just to share some joy in prayer, you can come up to the sides of the sanctuary and one of our prayer chaplains will welcome you back. And we want you to know that we're here for you. And for our prayer chaplains, we'd like to acknowledge them, and so you can keep an eye out with them. They're wearing beautiful purple stoles, but if you wouldn't mind, prayer chaplains, would you stand for a moment so we can ID you? Thank you. And we appreciate your service. So, if you need prayer help, we got you covered, all right? Another service that we provide is sharing of affirmations, and tied to prayer, affirmations are really important, and they're merely positive statements of truth that keep us aligned. In the book Lessons in Truth by Emily Cady, she discusses affirmations as statements which will help us align our thinking with truth. These are not magic, and the statements themselves have no power. but they are statements with which we train our minds, allowing us to remember the truth that there is one power and one presence available to us. And affirmations are a basic tool which helps us create more efficient and optical ways of thinking. We also talk about denials. Denials are statements of release. We don't deny facts or feelings or emotions. We don't want to do that. We believe in feeling your feelings, acknowledging that things are happening. But we need to, and we're also not in denial that challenging events occur, but we use denials as a way to say that these emotions or feelings don't have power over us. We can use denial statements to remind ourselves that no matter what is happening, we are always free to choose our own response to that experience. Isn't that good? We have choice. We don't have to react in a rote way. We have choice. So, on Sundays, we offer a denial and an affirmation. You will see that up on the screen behind me. I am going to read it to you once, and if you'd like to stand afterwards, you may, or you can sit and we'll affirm it together. My past isn't my precedent. In every moment, I stand at the threshold of all possibility and shout into the expanse, a soul-satisfying new year. Would you like to join me in that? You ready? Let's say it together. My past isn't my precedent. In every moment, I stand at the threshold of all possibility and shout into the expanse, a soul-satisfying new year. That was beautiful. Take a moment and say hi to the people around you.
Unapologetically, I wanna take advantage of all I ought to be. I'm gonna show the world my potentiality. Gonna do it now, not eventually. Flat out, wide open, all in and out loud. One vow, unbroken. One life, right now, flat out, wide open, all in and out loud. One vow, unbroken, one life, right now.
I know. Oh, good morning, Unity in Lynnwood. Was that dancing?
It was. That's not allowed in this church.
It was Myrtle Fillmore, Unity co-founder, who wrote, the word new gives a welcome because there's something in the very makeup of humankind that craves the freshness that the word suggests. She continues, so why not give the word new a place every day? Why not, upon first awakening, remind ourselves that this is a fresh new day, full of opportunities and fragrant with possibilities? Turn to someone and say, you are fragrant with possibilities this morning. And if you're one who needs to hear it, just allow yourself to absorb it. I am fragrant with possibilities this morning. She continues, God did not endow us with brain, with soul, and spirit, only to have us get entangled in the web of habit. The restrictions of yesterday have no power to overshadow our lives today, so let us begin our days with newness of thought, with newness of courage. Let us, at the beginning of the new year, throw open the doors of our hearts, throw open the doors of our homes to the new. See yourself new, fresh, and full of vigor. Turn to someone and say, you are new, fresh, and full of vigor this morning. And if you're one who needs to hear it, you are welcome to say, I am new, fresh, and full of vigor this morning. Well done. She concludes that which was irksome. There's your vocabulary word for the week. That which was irksome and stale now takes on a fresh, new delight. End quote. Happy New Year, Unity in Lynnwood. Happy New Year. Woo! Your gift shop offers a reader's program. There are 5 new titles at the Welcome and Information Station. There might not be 5 anymore. I don't know. The way it works is this. You grab a title. You read the book. You submit a 100-word summary to the church administration, and that allows other people to be introduced to great works. The reward, well, you get to keep the book. So for February, titles include the Power of Love. Yes, for February, the Power of Love. How about this one? Enchanted Love. You'll catch on. A return to well done. Your report, should you choose to embark upon such a grand adventure, is due February 1st. Your gift shop is offering a tithing program for 2019. You will find informational postcards at the Welcome and Information Station. If you know of a noble and worthy local nonprofit organization whose values, whose mission, whose way of being in the world aligns with Unity in Lynnwood's, please complete the card. A portion of every sale through the entirety of the year will be donated to approved organizations. You will be notified by email if yours makes the list. I'd like to invite you to the annual financials meeting. Actually, I'd like to encourage you to attend the annual financials meeting. It's scheduled to follow this service on the 27th of January. Review the fiscal performance of Unity in Lynnwood. Review our current position and understand the 2019 budget such as it has been developed. You know, we're at a point now in our dance together where we can talk about 5-year statistics. Can you believe that? It seems just like yesterday we were on a first date. What a date it was. I agree with that. And I'd like to applaud you, and I'd like to give you the opportunity to applaud each other, to acknowledge each other, to thank each other. You are a body ensemble of rule breakers and rabble-rousers, I can tell you. Do you know that the Sunday morning attendance of Unity in Lynnwood over the past 5 years has increased 49.5%? And we're positioned to have that conversation, and we would love to have it with you. You deserve to be celebrated. And finally, Matthew Wilson, you've heard of him. And Christina Brewer, perhaps you remember her. The girl has pipes. Let me tell you what. They collaborate on Chocolate Cabaret 2019, a night of decadence. It's scheduled for Friday evening, February 15th. Join us for a night of beautiful love songs, chocolate, wine, community. Reservations will come available online in upcoming days. Every service has at least one ambassador. This person's responsibility is to support you in your exploration, discovery of this ever-unfolding, evolving divine idea we call unity in Lynnwood. In the Friendship Hall, you will find a table called Let's Connect, where you will find Welaine Sharples. And here, seated to my right, you will find Nan Allen. Welaine, are you with us this morning? There she is. Nan Allen, would you and Welaine, that these people might have faces to go with names, would you wave to this assembly this morning, please? Oh, if you feel so inclined, please take the words with me. They are the invocational words of Charles Fillmore, Unity co-founder. They read as follows: I am. I am. You know, those first two words are really quite good, don't you think? I am now. I am now in the presence of pure being. And immersed in the Holy Spirit of life, love, and wisdom. I acknowledge your presence and your power. O blessed Spirit. In your divine wisdom. Now release my mortal limitations. And from your pure substance of love. Bring into manifestation my world. According to your perfect law. He who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the churches. To him who overcomes, I will give some of the hidden manna, and I will give him a white stone and a new name written on the stone, which no one knows but he who receives it. In this fantastical book of Revelation, John of Patmos offers, and I quote, "He who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says." Now, given translations, to hear a thing carries a connotation of to obey a thing. So when we read, "He who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says," I don't think it's unreasonable to consider, he who has an ear, let him obey what the Spirit says. And to him who overcomes, or to him courageous enough to do so, he will be given two things, the first of which is some of the hidden manna. Now, this manna was the divine sustenance, the divine support promised the Israelites who would follow Moses toward a new land, which they would come to see only later. Manna was the divine sustenance, the divine support promised the Israelites who would follow Moses at great personal risk toward a land yet unseen. Can anybody relate? So when Jesus referenced food, when he referenced this manna, which others couldn't see, you understand he was referencing the divine sustenance, the divine support promised to those who would obey what the Spirit says, even at great personal risk, toward new lands which might seem little more than fantasies to everyone else. Now, can anyone relate? So, to him who obeys what the Spirit says, he will be given two things. The first of which is divine sustenance, is divine support. The second of which is a white stone and a new name written on the stone, which no one knows but he or she, of course, who receives it. Now, the particular white stone which you find in your hand, and I understand that we had to dip into our reserve account of white stones. So if you do not have one, please raise an empty hand as a symbol, and one will be miraculously delivered. Now, the particular white stone which you find in your hand was quarried in the vicinity of Bethlehem. Isn't that nice? It has a long and rich history that dates back centuries. For example, it was a white stone, not unlike that white stone which you hold in your hand that was used in elections. As you might imagine, a person voting was given both a white stone and a black stone, and if the person voting cast the white stone, it signaled approval. If the person voting cast a black stone, it signaled rejection. So perhaps it can be said that the white stone which you find in your hand serves as a symbol of approval or worthiness. And yet it was such a white stone inscribed with a host's name, which was given as a gift to an honored guest. In this case, the white stone granted the honored guest the authority to order servants about, to purchase items at will. Think of it as something of a vintage Visa, really. An antiquated Amex, a dated Discover, a medieval MasterCard. I'll stop. More, you say? Yeah. So perhaps it can be said that the white stone which you find in your hand serves as a symbol of authority, even abundance. And yet in ancient Greek tradition, when an individual was acquitted of a past misdeed, it was a white stone which the judge offered the acquitted. And from that moment forward, the acquitted individual would display that stone as proof of his innocence. Isn't that beautiful? So perhaps it can be said that the white stone which you find in your hand serves as a symbol of freedom or innocence. And yet in ancient Roman custom, it was a white stone which was awarded to the victor in an athletic game. And while the white stone displayed the victor's name, it served as his ticket to a special awards banquet. And while this is a distinctly Roman reference, Roman sports metaphors were frequently used by the Jews. It was in Philippians that Paul is cited, forgetting what lies behind and straining forward to what lies ahead. I press on toward the prize of the upward call of God. So maybe it can be said that the white stone which you find in your hand serves as a symbol of accomplishment or overcoming. And then the building materials used during the time in which John of Patmos wrote Revelation and included white marble. The front of the temple itself boasted white pillars engraved with the names of people believed to have been healed by God. So perhaps it can be said that the white stone which you find in your hand this morning serves as a symbol of wholeness or transformation. It was from such a rich and varied history that this morning's reference arose. And while each of these interpretations presents some difficulties, maybe we can agree that whether John of Patmos was promising approval or worthiness, authority or abundance, freedom or innocence, whether John of Patmos was promising accomplishment or overcoming, wholeness or transformation, he was promising something good. Can we agree to that? He who has an ear, let him obey what the Spirit says. To him who obeys what the Spirit says, I will give him divine sustenance, divine support, and I will give him a new beginning. There's an interpretation for you. For our purposes today, perhaps we could say, he who has an ear, let him obey what the Spirit says. To him courageous enough to do so, I will give him divine sustenance, and I will make him new. So here's the deal. I think this beautiful passage is saying that there is an unlimited and infinite life, love, wisdom inside of you. And while we in settings such as this, on mornings such as this, choose to call that infinite and unlimited life, love, wisdom God, it really doesn't matter what we call it. There is an unlimited and infinite life, love, wisdom inside of you, ever pressing to be revealed in the world of form. And because it's unlimited and because it's infinite, quite simply, you don't get to have all of the answers before you give rise to its expression. You don't get to know the end game. You don't get to preview the final destination. And if you will give rise to the promptings of this life, love, wisdom anyway, if you will be courageous enough to obey, support will come. You might not see the support now, but support will come. Although you may be required to leave the comforts of the life you have known to this point, you will not walk the path alone. And I have to believe that the promise of this beautiful passage is that in the end, you will know something of a sweetness beyond words. You will realize something of a satisfaction beyond measure. So this ceremony is one in which we declare our willingness to embark upon such a process, one in which we declare our willingness to obey what the Spirit says, even if it's risky, even if no one around us will get it. One in which we declare our willingness to set out for those promised lands that can, at this time, be only known in the realms of intuition and faith and deep, deep spiritual knowing. I heard a great quote this week. Those who dance appear crazy to those who can't hear the music. Be comforted, my fellow dancers. This ceremony is one in which we declare our willingness to obey the life, love, wisdom which is within each of us, trusting that we too will receive our portion of the hidden manna, that divine sustenance, that divine support, and that in the end, we will be made new. It's a ceremony mirrored in the wisdom of the timeless quote. The moment one definitely commits oneself, providence moves to, you know the quote. All sorts of things occur to help one that never would have otherwise occurred. A whole stream of events issues from the decision, raising in one's favor all manner of unforeseen incidents and meetings and material assistance which no person could have dreamt would have come his way. Whatever you can do then, dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. End quote. So this ceremony is one of boldness. It's bold because the human creature would prefer to be made new, and from that to gather support, and at last to obey a divine calling. How convenient would that be, after all? Going on the grand adventure without a single moment of vulnerability, without a fleeting iota of risk, rolling down the cosmic stream of life with both oars planted firmly in the waters, a couple spares rattling around in the hull of your little boat. And yet the order set forth is to obey a divine calling. And from that to gather support, and at last to be made new. Like so many matters of spiritual principle, it's really quite counterintuitive. Besides, it's been my experience that the human who waits until he has all the knowledge and all the resources seldom ever starts. So this morning, you received a future letter document and an envelope. Is that true? Good. No lying going on this morning. So in a few minutes, you will be granted an opportunity to write a letter to your future self. This is an exploration of the what Spirit says portion of the Scripture, okay? So we'll have a time of meditation. Now, you're welcome to start writing at any point, but here's the way it works, okay? When the music starts, you'll have about 4 minutes to complete your letter. We'll ask you to seal it in the envelope, self-address it. We'll take care of the stamp. And then when you exit the sanctuary following the service, you give it to someone who looks like they know what they're doing. Your letter will be returned to you. It will be unread, of course. Your letter will be returned to you in the middle of the year. And here's the deal. You will have forgotten that you wrote it. And the stories that come to my desk, the stories of tremendous poetry, unthinkable serendipity, are countless. So let's begin by taking a deep breath together. And let's allow a fundamental question to carry us into a time of consideration. Today's scripture begins, "He who has an ear, let him obey what the Spirit says." So take another deep breath and let's allow the question to float before our mind's eye. So what does the Spirit say today? It's a great question. So what does the Spirit say? Never mind that it's dangerous. That is the stuff of soul growth. What does the Spirit say? Never mind that it's unlikely. That's the stuff of soul growth. What does the Spirit say? Never mind that it's unpopular. That's the stuff of soul growth. What does the Spirit say? Never mind that it challenges your statistics. Never mind that it challenges your history. That's the stuff of soul growth. What does the Spirit say? That's the question. Never mind that that promised land is yet unseen. That's the stuff of soul growth. What does the Spirit say? What does the Spirit say? What does the Spirit say?
We've all heard this kind of story. Somebody's diagnosed that their time is suddenly short. And in the back of our minds, we wonder, what if that news was mine? Would we do more of the same with the moments that remain? Would we live like we were dying? Why wait? Why wait for that fateful fall, for that wake-up call? Why wait till it's too late? There is only today. We've all heard this kind of story. An earthquake strikes the coast of a distant land. Seems like every time we come together as humankind, we make a different choice. Kindness cuts through all the noise, and we're suddenly united. Why wait? Why wait for that pouring rain, for that hurricane? Why wait till it's too late? There is only today. Why wait? Oh. When an ambulance goes by, everybody pulls aside. The holidays put smiles on every face. Tell me, what's the reason why we need excuses to decide we are part of only one human race? We've all heard this kind of story. Someone keeps their dreams a secret all their life. Why wait? Why wait? 'Cause if we don't try, oh, that dream may die. Why wait till it's too late? Let the future fall away. Let regret evaporate. There is only today. Why wait?
It was Charles Fillmore who wrote, and I quote, "If you have surrendered to omnipresent wisdom," that's what he called it. "If you have surrendered to omnipresent wisdom, you must take as final what it tells you. You'll find that its guidance is that right course for you, that in the end, it was the only course you really could have taken." So here's the deal. The White Stone ceremony is often incorporated into New Year's traditions as one in which one writes something of an intention on the stone. And if you want to do that, it's absolutely fine. But pause for a moment. Through my exploration, I would invite you to consider a different process for this year. After all, the Scripture seems to imply that it's through obedience and courage that we give rise to divine sustenance, that we give rise to that divine support, and then we discover new life. Scripture seems to imply that there's a sequence to this new name thing, you see. So here's the invitation. This year, carry your white stone with you for a while. Allow its blankness to represent a receptivity to, even a seeking of, or a commitment to the new name, which your spiritual work will call forth from you in upcoming weeks. In other words, allow its blankness to represent a receptivity to the person your spiritual work will require you to become. You might already know that answer. For me, that new name is always something of what I like to call a God quality. I mean, if your new name is Cadillac, wait a little longer and see if you can discover what God quality might reside behind that. Maybe it's powerful. Maybe it's free. If your new name is Money, wait a little longer and see if you can reveal the God quality that might reside behind that. Maybe it's Prosperous. Maybe it's Worthy. And then, when you get the new name, then write it. And continue to carry that white stone with you. Carry it as something of a reminder of just how God works. You're in for a treat this morning. What an honor it is to have mother and daughter together. Dr. Jennifer Lovejoy wrote an original song. She presented it to us several weeks past. And it's a compelling message. In advance, would you extend both welcome and deep gratitude to Dr. Jennifer Lovejoy and Teresa Strawn, please?
Thank you. It's really an honor, and I'm very grateful that Richard and Matthew have allowed me to debut this song here today. I wanted to give you a little bit of context because I think of myself as the piano player. I certainly do not think of myself as a songwriter and definitely not a lyric writer. And so it was much to my surprise, in late August, I had accompanied Teresa over to France. She was beginning a study abroad program, and we were in a hotel in Paris. And in the middle of the night, I woke up with lyrics going through my head. And I thought, well, that's interesting, and I rolled over and tried to go back to sleep. But it was very persistent. And so eventually, realizing that I was not going to get any sleep until I did something, I got up and I wrote down this entire song that had come through. And at its essence, the song is about finding our voices individually and collectively, and the power of those voices. And the context is the things that we're unfortunately hearing in the news on an almost weekly basis, whether that is acts of hate around homophobia or religious intolerance or racism, whether it's the abuse of children for years that finally comes out in the news that it's been going on, or whether it's issues of women in order to succeed in their careers or in the workplace being put in really untenable situations. And again, people are finally speaking out about all of these situations. So when I showed the song to Teresa in the morning, she got very concerned and put her hand on my shoulder and she said, "Mom, is there something you need to talk about?" And I reflected on that, that, you know, in my personal life, I've been very blessed. I had a safe childhood and, you know, have not been put in some of these situations, but it really doesn't matter what we have personally experienced because we are all one. In consciousness, we are all one. And so to the extent that any of us have experienced the shame or the harassment or the hurt, we all experience it, and it's time for us all to speak out. So that's what the song is about. I'll invite you to sing along on the final chorus. The words will be up on the PowerPoint.
You were different, your friends were not the same. There was a flame that burned within you, but you hid it all the same. You were told that you were sinful, you were told that you were wrong. Since you were not like others, you clearly didn't belong. Child, how could you know what to do? They would only call you wild. The nights you lay in darkness, longing for a loving touch. You still wish for someone to talk to, someone safe you can trust. Stop living in the silence. Stop living in your shame. The truth needs to be spoken, even if everything will change. Another girl had told you what it took to get ahead. In this business it's expected, just give in, she said. How did we let this happen? How many hearts were left to bleed? But now strong voices are speaking out into a new day. They will lead. We're done living in the silence. We're done living in the shame. The truth, it will be spoken, and everything will change. We're done living in the silence. We're done living in the shame.
Jennifer, thank you so much for sharing that beautiful work. And your words are so important, and I agree 100%. We're all connected, and it's all of us, so we have to know. And Teresa, you're beautiful as always. Thank you for sharing. You were pretty good too, Matthew. He does a killer background vocal, doesn't he? So now is the time where we come together and we prepare and share our love offerings. We recognize that the power of giving and thanksgiving is inherent in us, and we know that our prosperity comes from the highest source. We are grateful that we have the opportunity to share our wealth here at Unity in Lynnwood to where it's most needed. Thank you.
Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen. Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen. Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen.
And I'd like you to all join me in saying our offering affirmation. God is my source. God is our source. And that source supports the evolving, unfolding, soul-stirring idea that is Unity in Lynnwood in miraculous ways. Thank you. Thank you, ushers, for your service. And we always like to acknowledge our gratitude to our online community who is with us today for your donations made through our live stream and our website. And we're so happy you're with us today. So if you're here for the first time, or if you're newish and you haven't gotten the information, there is a newcomer's information card in the seat in front of you that you can fill out. Well, actually, you don't fill this one out. You just read this one. This gives you information about us here at Unity in Lynnwood. And there's also a stay in touch card that you can fill out and hand into one of the ushers as you leave. This would give us your information and put you on our email list. 2 emails a month. We don't give this away to anybody else. So if you are not yet connected in that and would like to be, please take advantage of that. There is also a newcomer's information pamphlet and DVD that you can obtain as you walk out the door on the left, and I don't see any, so we can get some more out there. And if you want one and you don't see it, you can come get it up here. So please take advantage of that information if you'd like to learn more about us. And we do consider ourselves to be a community of intentional welcome, so we like to say hi to people who are here with us for the first time. So if you don't mind, if you're here for the first time today, if you don't mind raising your hand, we might give you a little round of applause and say howdy. Anybody today? Yes, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you being brave. It's not a comfortable place to be, but we like to know that you're here and we like to say hi. Please share some time with us in the friendship room afterwards for some noshing and company. I love that word. So we have some announcements, and as always, details and information and registration on anything else that you hear about here today, you can find at our welcome and information station in the back. Unity in Lynnwood Small Group Ministry presents Music for the Soul Song Circle. Experience the power of music to connect heart to spirit and heart to heart on Thursday, January 10th at 7 p.m. Participants sing a variety of songs and chants from different traditions while learning ways to ground and release through music. Bring hand drums or shakers if you like, or not, just come, all are welcome. On Saturday, January 12th, join Rabbi Ted Falcon for Spiritual Saturdays at 11 o'clock and stay for a workshop entitled Health and Wholeness Toolkit at 1 o'clock. Do you have the right tools to protect your most valuable resource? And what is that valuable resource? That, of course, would be you. So, if you are looking for some tools to protect your health and wellness, Linda Babin and Nancy Joy Callahan, our Health and Wellness Ministry co-chairs, would you wave to us? Beautiful people, thank you. Offer simple ways of reflecting on what you are doing now, and will make sure you leave with 5 or 6 tools in your toolkit. Our prayer chaplains invite you to celebrate your divinity, a labyrinth service on Wednesday, January 16th at 7 p.m. Walk into the mystery. Enter the labyrinth, releasing, exit the labyrinth, bringing your light into the world. Spend sacred time in candlelight, exploring the time of darkness for discovery, honoring your sacred self to shine brighter. Thank you, prayer chaplains, for offering this. And finally, on January 26th at 5:30, Father Dan and Reverend Karuna of the Interfaith Missions of Saints Francis and Clare offer an inclusive Eucharistic liturgy open to everyone, regardless of previous or present faith, traditions, or affiliations. Experience an accepting ritual in the Franciscan tradition of unity and hospitality. I got through all of that, and I didn't blunder any of it. That's a lot of words. Oh, no. Nah, I'm just glad. Thank you. All good things are happening at Unity in Lynnwood. You can find information on your printed program or by visiting our Facebook page or the calendar page of our website at unityinlynnwood.org.
The incomparable Rafe Perlman will be with us again next Sunday. And then January 20th, we will have the Winterlings. The artwork in the hallway is Wolf Bowden. He is one of the Winterlings, as well as Amanda Birdsall. They're fantastic. If you'll join me, we'll sing our peace song.
Clark, did I hear you use the phrase all y'all? Man, I mean, I am from the South. That takes me home, Mama. You know, because of course, you know, the you and the plural of you is all y'all. Woo, here's the truth. I want you to have a place at Unity in Lynnwood. That is the truth. While I can speak it to all, it's up to you to hear it. I want you to have a place at Unity in Lynnwood as we embark upon this new year. If you would benefit from support and assistance and finding a right and perfect place for you at Unity in Lynnwood, we are here. We are here. I want you to know that. I want you to hear it. If this is your message this morning, hear it. Hear me. Okay? Always. It is an honor. It is a privilege. It is a delight and a joy to be in your noble presence. Always. Truly. take a deep breath. If there's the first name of any soul you would like to invite into this experience, and those who join us via social media, you participate as well. There certainly is no compelling distance in the spiritual realm. Speak that first name now. So yes, to all those names, whether spoken with the human tongue or the human heart, it matters not. To all who find themselves experiencing oppression, experiencing confusion, experiencing lack, experiencing what would be perceived on the earthly realm as an ending, we affirm and declare that we stand in the deeper waters of all that we know God to be. Indeed, we stand in a sufficiency that is ample. We stand in a love that is ample. We stand in a wisdom that is ample. And always, 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 we stand in a life that is ample. Life is the law. Life is the truth of you. Indeed, you are fresh. You are new. You are full of vigor, because that vigor is the nature of the soul that you are. Let us raise our voices then with great faith and boldness as we speak these closing words of benediction. There is one power, one presence, in, through, and around all creation. So we go forth as the eyes of divine love, as the tongues of divine wisdom, as the hands of divine sufficiency, and the bold and ready hearts of divine life. Unity in Lynnwood, Happy New Year, and Happy New Year, and Happy New Year.